cheer for your Adelaide 36ers.
Hello and welcome to a special edition of the Talking Basketball podcast. I am Mark.
I am Paul and I'm back in the studio,
Back in the studio, sir, from your jet set holidays abroad.
Yeah, back.
And where did you go?
The beautiful, sunny city
Margate.
of Adelaide.
Close.
Beautiful, mate. Absolutely beautiful.
So, on your journey across the globe, I hear there was a little basketball involved.
There was a little basketball involved and it was unexpected. But yeah, whilst I was out in Adelaide, I was going to go check out a game, and then you got in touch with the legend, Dale Fletcher.
Yep.
Big shout out to Dale.
Massive
from the Adelaide 36ers.
And thank you to the media team first, because they actually put us in touch. We reached out to them, and they said, speak to Dale, he's the boy, he'll sort you out. And then you were already out there at that point, and you and Dale hooked up, and that was really cool.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was a great experience. Originally, you knew I was going to, I think it was a game on the 28th. And they were like,
yes.
yeah, we'll see what we can work out. But then I was going with people and I was like, look, if we're going to do the whole media thing and really delve into the Adelaide 36ers experience, I went and did it on Christmas Eve. So the game, Christmas Eve, they were taking on the Brisbane Bullets. So there's also, there's a bit of history between Adelaide 36ers and the Brisbane Bullets as well.
All right.
Going back through, there's a bit of rivalry, which was quite good. So yeah, turned up, had that day experience with them. And look, I am going to start by saying, what an organisation.
Yeah.
What a team. If you live in Adelaide and you're not going to these games, you are missing out. If you like basketball and you're not going to these games, you are missing out. The atmosphere, I would say, is arguably better than some NBA games I've been to. Easily.
What? So take us through, let's go from the beginning. So you got there, jumped over a few kangaroos, missed the koalas, got into the front.
There are no kangaroos around the stadium, Mark.
What?
No.
Very different in my mind. But when you got there, what's the stadium like? What is it?
So the stadium is known as, I actually made some notes for you on this. Look, the stadium's known as the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. And they've been playing there since, I think it was about 2019, I'm sure Dale said. And they play all their home games there. And I think whilst I was over there, they've actually just signed a contract. So they're going to be playing there for like another 5 years.
Oh, okay.
So when it's the entertainment centre, basically like a few weeks before I was there, you had like Paul McCartney or something was playing there. So it's for gigs and sport, whatever. So they play all their games there. Now, I guess for our listeners who are British, a lot of them / British American,
Yep.
I would put Australian basketball not square in the middle, very firmly more towards the NBA.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the size and everything.
We do have quite a few European listeners now as well. They're starting to grow. And if you, from when you said about looking out there, I looked at a couple of their NBL. It is, isn't it?
NBL, yeah.
Not to be confused with the UK, which is the NBL, which is something different. But it's, I understand what you're saying now, because you think in the NBA, you've got people like Stephen Adams, who they've come from straight across and over. And that standard is more European NBA sort of side, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, they are playing quality basketball out there.
Yep.
Like,
physical.
Yeah. Oh man. Like, let me get some of my notes here that I wrote. You remember, Aaron Baines used to play for the Boston Celtics. Remember him?
Yes.
Man, he took took a charge. He kind of stood his ground. Some guy went into him. It was like, it was like the whole entire arena just was like, oh, in really? One joint gasp of, oh my God, did that guy just broke his nose? Like, I mean, that is a strong guy. He was one of the few players who I actually managed to who actually walked past me, and it was like, oh, a very brief hello. He is a big dude.
I was like standing on a step ladder.
Oh man, he is big. And you know what? I couldn't help. He walked past, and I was like, man, he's obviously he's tall. I'm just gonna get his height here.
Isn't he like 6'8", something like that?
I knew you were going to be asking me all these questions, Mark. So
yes.
Damn it, I didn't write his height down. But look, he used to play for Spurs, Detroit, Boston, Phoenix, Toronto. So he
journeyman.
He is well. He's been around the NBA, so he's a solid player. But obviously his height as he walked past, but the size of his shoulder, it's like his arm. I was like, man, that's the size of my head. He was a strong guy. You would not want to mess with him down a dark alley.
Yeah.
But look, I've got nothing to sing but praises. The crowd is fantastic. It's a great audience.
What's the capacity?
I believe it's like 10. It depends on where you look, but I believe it's like 10,000 is the capacity of the arena. I have seen it could be 11. Don't quote me on that, but I have seen that.
Yeah.
But when I was there for that game, they had their biggest attendance of the season so far, and that was 9,440.
I mean, that it's like a European game, isn't it? You're getting 9,000-10,000.
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
There.
Like, it would be, if we had to compare it, it would be to the London Lions. But take the London Lions
that's double Lions.
and multiply. No, I'm not just talking size, but I'm talking they have got the atmosphere, everything right. You've actually probably arguably got more crowd interaction than, again, I'm not going to say all NBA game, than some NBA games I've been to.
Yeah, I mean, some of the NBA games, it's worth saying, there are maybe like 13,000, 14,000 on some of their attendances. It's closer to something like a football crowd on like the Portsmouth FC sort of crowd, 12,000, 13,000, 14,000.
I don't know. I think NBA, I don't know why, I've got nothing about this up. In my head, I've always just gone 20,000 for NBA games.
Yeah, some of them get close. But
this is for the Adelaide 36ers. Bit of Irish crickets. There you go. That's for Adelaide.
Is that the sound that you make as you go through the turnstile there?
Yep. But you know what? They look. I'll give you a breakdown of the actual team first, and then we'll talk about the game day experience. So,
yeah.
And look, we're representing Adelaide now. Look, Mark, you can't see this, but I've got my Adelaide 36ers jersey on. I've got Mark and Adelaide 36ers retro cap.
Yeah, it's worth pointing out. 1, great hat. 2, is my size, always important. But it looks so much like we posted on Instagram about retro logos, and the Philadelphia 76ers logo. This is almost the spitting image of it.
They've copied it, Mark.
Yeah, it's so.
Philadelphia have copied Adelaide's logo.
It looks brilliant. It looks really, really good.
That's what's happened. So the Adelaide 36ers, also known as the Sixers, they're the only team. So in Australia, oh man, my geography is being tested here, but I think there is like 7 states. I could be wrong, but I think there's like 7 states. But Adelaide is in South Australia, and they're the only team in that state representing it for the NBL. Okay, you looking up how many states there are in?
6.
Is it 6? What is it? So you got
New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland, Western Australia, South Australia, and Tasmania.
Northern Territory. You didn't say that one.
And 2 internal territories, Northern Territory and the Australian Capital Territory, which contains
So
Canberra.
it's like 7, 8.
But it is only 6 states.
Oh, okay. What? Anyway, either way, Adelaide's in South Australia, and they're the only team in that state who's playing in the NBL. This will make you laugh. Like the NBL, by the way, it was formed in 1979, so 45 years ago. But the Adelaide...
Did they start, when they started, if it started in 1979, that's when the league formed. Adelaide joined, this is what I was just about to say, Adelaide joined the league in 1982. And this was the bit I was going to make you laugh. I saw it was like 1982. I was like, oh man, your club's 43 years old. That's really cool. That's like quite old.
And then I realised, hang on, I was born before that. And then I felt I was old. Anyway, so when they joined, I think they were called the Eagles. I'm sure Dale said they were called the Adelaide City Eagles, something like that. And it was quite soon after they joined the league that they changed their name to the 36ers. So they're actually called the Adelaide 36ers because the colony of South Australia was officially, I guess, announced or proclaimed or whatever the wording is in 1836. So that's where they've taken the name from, 36ers.
Oh, okay.
And they play their home games in the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. They are, Mark, 4-time NBL champions.
Oh, interesting.
But there is a but. The last time they managed to get to the playoffs was in the 2017-2018 season. So currently, they are, at the foot of the table kind of team. Now, and this is what I'm going to say as a huge positive from my perspective. I went there and I watched a team at the bottom of the table. What a team. What quality basketball. What atmosphere. What support. What a crowd. What an organisation. I was like, damn, this is on your doorstep? Bloody hell. You got it made here. Again, I'll go back to my point. If you're from Adelaide and you haven't gone to see these guys play, you need to go to the entertainment centre and watch a game.
All right, we're going to get dirty on this now. What is the, ticketing wise, pricing?
Oh, jeez.
I'm not saying specific,
what
but
happens if you're media, Mark?
If you're media, you pay for it by doing the long hours and everything that way. But what I mean is,
how much are tickets?
Yeah, because we've seen interesting tickets in the UK with some games. And then when you see NBA games, they can range from an NBA game in America might be like $30, $40 for a real cheap seat, right up to thousands, whatever. If you want to go to NBA Paris at the moment, it's about £200 a ticket.
Wow. Yeah, because it's not on your doorstep. You got to pay for it.
Well, even if they're doing the US games over in the O2, that they're going to be doing some training, that's still going to be £200 a ticket. You go
as
80.
An example, and I'm only saying this, I only know because I booked to go to a game, and I was paying for a few people. That's the only way I know, and I can't really remember because you were asking me, because I did this way before Christmas when I found out I was going. I thought, let's book a game. So I do remember, I think it was like $100. So the exchange rate, let's say it's £1 for $2. Yeah, so let's say it's about £50. And that's for one adult, 2 children. And it's called a family ticket.
Hang on, 1 and 2 children?
Yes. Yeah, it's a family ticket. So it's one adult,
blimey.
2 children. An adult
That's very
ticket,
good.
I want to say was, I think it was like $60, $70, something like that. So about £35, £40. So if you got kids, you might as well take your kids as well, because it's like £10 or like $20, £10, however you look at it, to take your 2 kids or a kid and a friend. What I did find out, which I thought you'd be really interested in, is, excuse me, I'm just going to go and talk about the league structure for a bit.
Yep.
Because this touches on a really interesting point that we've been talking about in previous shows, which is, so the NBL, there's teams in the league, everyone plays everyone home, everyone plays everyone away, yeah? And that's been the standard, just once, 1 home, 1 away, yeah?
Okay.
And that's been the standard since, I don't know, last 10 years.
Sorry,
now, this is the thing I'm going to come to.
Remind me, how many are in the league?
I believe, oh man, I don't know. I think it's like, I want to say maybe 10 or 12.
Yeah, okay. So there's like 24 games.
It could be even 14 teams.
Yeah.
I can't remember, mate.
No.
But this is the bit you're like. In 2020, 2021,
Mm-hmm.
they introduced a in-season tournament, which increased the games, like an extra 8 games. But those games also contributed to standings.
Oh.
After one season, they abandoned that and went back to the old schedule. So I know we've been talking about the NBA's tournament and stuff like that. So I knew you would want to know that fact when I found that out.
Well, we need to speak to someone in the NBL in Australia, because that would be really interesting to understand why it was abandoned. And maybe even if Dale or anyone in the 36ers organisation, be interesting to have their opinion on why. Did they think it was a success?
I don't know any details of the cup. I mean, it was like a couple of years ago, but it was interesting they abandoned it.
Yeah, that's really strange.
So, you know, they've got that. They got the whole standard. All the teams play each other, and then you have the top 4 teams in the league.
Yep.
And this is the bit I liked. The top 2 teams are guaranteed home court advantage. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
And then I don't know if it's first v third or whatever, but 4 teams go into fuck me. I wrote this down and I'm talking and trying to read it at the same time.
Let me cut in on you. You just said say about £50 for one adult, 2 kids. I just thought I'd have a look at what they do in some of the BBL in the UK. Believe it or not, Newcastle Eagles, I just thought I'd go on their site, it was there. They do something called a Flock of Eagles discount, which means if you buy 4 tickets together, then you get like a discount.
Okay.
And it's based on adults and kids, and you can get concessions and stuff.
Well,
so they do things like that. And normal tickets are like £15 a person.
Adelaide was very kid friendly. Like it was a place you can take your kid. Very fun family environment. They'd love it. Hang on, here we go. So this is what I'm trying to say. So the top 4 teams at the end of the season go to the finals. Yeah.
Yes.
Team finishing first and second, they guarantee getting home court advantage. Okay, and then they have, I think it's a best of 3, with third and fourth. The winner of that series, goes to what they call a grand final. And the winner of the grand final, I think it's a best of 5, that one.
And where is the grand final? Is that in a neutral place?
Based on your league standings, whoever's
I like it.
top of the league, you get home court advantage.
There's your incentive, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yep.
And the winner of the series
No, I like that.
play each other. And home advantage is awarded to the highest remaining seed out of those 4.
That's the way to do it.
And then the winner is crowned the NBL champion, Mark. So
Okay.
Adelaide, they have won that 4 times in...
So do they have a cup? That's being crowned a champion.
Well, no, I don't know. Yeah. The NBA, it's like the NBA. You win the playoffs, that's it. You're the champion. But
And they had a cup thing.
they
but it
do
didn't work.
note. I mean, I don't know. My understanding, listening to everyone, you win the playoffs. That's it. Yeah, that's what you want to do.
That's the one you want to do.
But I did notice when you look at certain things, they do recognise, hey, we won the league that year, and I think that's important because you win over a consistent 6 months. You want that kind of highlight.
Do they get anything for that?
I don't know. I just noticed that.
It's really interesting, isn't it? How everyone, a lot of these other countries, all play basketball, and there's like maybe FIBA rules. NBA has certain rules. BBL has certain rules. NBL has certain rules. They're all kind of like variants. So we're all fundamentally playing the same game, but there's all little nuances, right down to how the league is won, how the refs call travels and stuff as well.
You wait to some of the like little things that Adelaide do that I'll come to. You'll go, that's quality. Really good. Anyway, right. So, and this is why I'm highlighting this point, because Adelaide have won the NBL championship 4 times, but they've actually come top in the league 6 times. So it's interesting that we know it's going to happen just based on that a team's going to win the league. They're not actually going to win the playoffs.
I wonder if did they ever win not coming top?
Well, I don't know. Actually, I can tell you. I've got it here.
Did they come top in
They
every?
came top in the championship in '86.
Yep.
They won the regular season. And when it looks like, this is this whole year thing. You know, we were talking about which year represents year, but it's possible. The last time they won it in 2001, 2002, they didn't actually win the league.
Okay. Yeah, because that's what because especially with the playoffs.
I could be wrong on that.
Especially with the playoffs nowadays where you have the play-in. As we saw with the Lakers and the Heat last year in 23, it was very much they had to fight their way in the play-in to get anywhere in the playoffs and then getting all the way through the finals. I'm not saying they had no right to be there in a way, but if you looked at people like Milwaukee who got binned off straight away, they were top of the league. It doesn't always correlate, does it?
No. So it happens. But so, they have championship banners. So where I was sat, they were quite close to where I was, actually, above me in the rafters. They had 4 championship banners. They also had 4 retired numbers. Number 4, number 5, number 15, number 33.
And how was that displayed? Was it similar to when you went to the Forum?
It is closer to how the Lakers have it. No, It is that hanging down.
Yes.
But the actual banner itself does look closer to the Lakers than like Boston. Do you know when Boston has that like long flag hanging down? I actually really like the long flag. I really like that. I think for me, that's personally the best banner, because when you're there, it's, especially in an NBA finals, it's intimidating. You're standing there, you're looking up, and you just see these 16 banners, huge things hanging down. Even the players are looking up like, number 17, here we go. Like, it's, but they're quite,
that's if you count them all.
Bit closer to the Lakers. But, it looks great. And I think it was the first championship banner looks, they look unique compared to what the franchise looked like that year.
I just wonder if they have to take them down. I guess they have to take them down and clean them. I know it sounds a really bizarre thing to say, but they can't leave them up all the time.
I don't know.
Forever and after.
I don't know, Mark. I don't know about that one.
They take them down when the Clippers play, don't they? When they used to.
Oh, God, you asked me a question. Of somewhere where I was like 10 years ago. If I remember rightly, in the Staples Center, in one corner, you've got the Lakers stuff. In another corner, you've got the ice hockey stuff. Is that the Lightning? I'm guessing, as a name. In another corner, you might have the Clippers.
Okay.
But I am going back 10 years in my memory.
Which is shaky at best.
Anyway, so let's get on back on the Adelaide.
I've got another question for Adelaide. I haven't been to Australia.
Yeah.
What is the climate like when you're in the stadium? I know, bizarre.
You would be wearing what you're wearing now, so you'd have t-shirt and like a
speedos and a snorkel.
No, you're not going there, and it's like they do have aircon, Mark.
No,
like,
the reason I'm saying it is because
do you still think this is like farmers or something? Like,
no, what I'm saying is when you see people who've gone to different Olympics when they're playing, and there's, they've got different heights for altitude depending on what, if they were in Denver, obviously mile high city. If you then go to somewhere that was in Greece, it might be a different temperate climate. Obviously Australia, you do have different climates depending on humidity. Sometimes they're quite dry. They've got a lot of deserts in Australia as well. So I don't know what the climate is like, but for a player, I'm just curious, like if you're running up and down for 40 odd minutes, what's it like?
Take any climate questions you have are irrelevant.
Yep.
They're absolutely irrelevant. It's a bloody hell, mate.
What?
It is a well air conditioned
I think
arena.
that's a genuine question.
It's You should look at pictures of some Australian cities. You know, they're not recovering from World War II. It looks nicer over there than in England. Jeez.
That's
what I would say about I mean, I can only comment. I've only been in a few cities in Australia, but Adelaide is one of the cleanest cities I've been to. The cleanest city I think I've ever been to in my life.
I think Toronto was up there for me when I went
Okay.
there. Yeah, that was pretty good. And a couple of places in Germany.
Well, I walked around before I went to the stadium. I just walked around, just trying to take some of the city in. And what I really liked about the city is a bit like when you're walking around London and you see...
Koalas?
No, there's no koalas or kangaroos in the city, Mark. It's like a massive city.
Wombats.
Just like the artwork and stuff like that.
Crocodiles.
Do you know when you're walking around London and they'll just have art?
Like street
around?
art, yeah.
Yeah, not street art, but like a sculpture of, this is Mark Chester, a sculpture of his head. He brought an engineering innovation to the city of Adelaide and we're celebrating that. They have a lot of that lying around and I really like that. It just brings a sense of community and history all in one. But it's, really clean city. They got trams there. You would like that.
Why would I like trams?
We haven't had a tram in Portsmouth for like...
Yeah, but why would I want a tram?
Oh, dunno.
You'd like trams? What have I ever sat there and confessed in 43 years? I've really missed trams. Bring them back.
The last tram I was on, it was Sheffield. In Sheffield, they got trams as well. But anyway, you go on trams and they take you to the stadium. Well, that's how I got there anyway.
Any of the things in Australia you could have thought, I bet Mark would really like that. You went with trams. Thanks.
Yeah. Anyway, so look, we're getting off on this. So what I would say, which was quite interesting, there was a bit of pressure on this game that I went to. So there was a lot of talk. The head coach of Adelaide 36ers, I think he was on like a 3-year deal or something like that, but they had just parted ways. Bruton, I think his name was.
Oh,
Bruton.
okay.
They just parted ways with him, and there was a lot of pressure on, I guess, on the coach to win this game.
So was he like the assistant stepping up, or was it a brand new?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
It's
I
a
was looking at
genuine
all my
question.
notes. I know it's a great question, but sorry, Mark, I can't tell you what position the head coach was in before he became coach. Anyway, there was a lot of it looked like there was a lot of pressure on him. So, but yeah, something else I'm going to talk about Adelaide as well. The 36ers is.
Was that his first game? The first game you went to, by the way.
I don't know if it was his first game, but
One of the first ones.
I think he was. In December, he'd become head coach.
Okay, yeah.
So in 2-3 weeks, whatever, how many games they had played.
he's under the chopping block.
It might have been his third game, I'm guessing, but that rings a bell. Anyway, what I did see the Adelaide 36ers do, they played, and this is amazing, they played a pickup game against some kids. And I don't know if it was in a school or community hall, but they got a load of kids together, a load of people together, and I don't know if it was for charity, but I do know they go around schools and try and do all that stuff for the community, and it was great. But what I loved about it, one of their players did an absolute monster dunk from tip-off, and I was like, yes! He got all these like little kids, and it was like, boom!
Yeah. That's what I was hoping you'd say. Absolutely, just be like,
genius.
Just start off with, we're the professionals.
But that is a memory that a kid's going to have in 30 years' time. Yeah. Got dunked on by Adelaide 36er. Brilliant.
This therapist will be hearing that story for a while, won't he?
Oh, that was good. But look, they do a lot for the community and stuff like that. So let's get on with the game.
But it's a reciprocal thing, isn't it? We've said it about local league games, and arguably this is like as high as you can get in, I won't say like a local team, but we've talked about a lot of the basketball places all around the world and wherever it may be. The team that gets supported often the most is by their local area. So if you're in Portsmouth, you might support Portsmouth teams. If you're in Adelaide, you're most likely going to support them. It's very unlikely you're going to support someone from Sydney.
No.
You might do if you've moved or something, but most of the time you support your local team. It's very geographically based.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Well, Mark, what I would say is, let's talk about the atmosphere in this arena now. So first of all, I'm going to talk about Murray. Do you know who Murray is? Murray the Magpie! Legend!
Murray the Magpie.
Murray the Magpie. He is the mascot. And I knew you were going to ask me something about why a magpie. So I went and found this stat for you. The magpie was chosen as the bird. It's found throughout Adelaide, whilst Murray's first name comes from the Murray River, one of South Australia's best-known landmarks. There you go. That answers your question. Why Murray? Why a magpie? There you go, because I knew you were going to ask that, and by your face, you were going to ask that.
How tall is Murray?
Don't know, mate.
No, what I'm saying is he a big mascot, or is it a... sometimes they are bigger than a person, for example, and other times they are.
It would look like it looked like a size of a person, but with a big bird head.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to go with.
What numbers does he wear?
Ooh.
36.
Oh, really?
Of course he wears 36. I was actually thinking out there, when I was out there, I was looking at the number plates going, man, why haven't people got like ADL 36 or some kind of variation, or no, I don't know how it's 36 ERS.
Oh yeah,
that would have been a cool one to have. But yeah, he is a very cool mascot, and he's got the crowd wrapped around his little finger. So he did a really good thing. And again, you don't see this in England, which is why I was like, this is quality.
Yeah,
this is quality. The mascot gets his own introduction. All the lights go down.
Really?
And here he is. And the crowd are like, let him out, or whatever they were chanting.
Oh,
he then
brilliant.
runs out onto the floor where there is a huge drum. And he's got the dancers around the drum. And he gets to sting. Boom. And as he does that boom, the crowd clap. Boom. 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 And then obviously it's getting quicker and quicker, and then it kicks into or whatever music they're playing. Bam, you got it. There's your atmosphere ready for the game right there. Great intro, I thought. That's before you even got to the player introductions, Mark.
That's awesome. So he gets he's almost the first intro.
Yeah. Oh, can I say, by the way, when let's say you were sat next to me.
Yep.
In the arena.
Yep.
We can't hear each other. That's how loud it is.
Oh, really?
It is, the crowd are so loud.
Yeah.
And the music's loud that, you're shouting. You're like at a gig, kind of shouting to be heard.
Really?
Yeah, great. I was like, from where we're doing it in England, where they're like, can you just turn it down, please? Please, just turn it down a few levels. And you're like, what? No. No.
They'd have it like a silent disco where everyone just have headphones on.
It is great. They got the volume perfectly. Anyway, so another thing that Adelaide did, which I was like, genius. And I don't know if this is an Adelaide thing, a South Australia thing, or an Australia thing. But what they do is they introduce the home team, like we've seen before, yeah? So like,
yeah.
And now, stand and cheer for number 1, Trenton Flowers. And then he'll run out, and they do that, all the players, yeah?
Yep.
Then what? They do this, they go, and the visiting team, the Brisbane Bullets. And that's it. That's their intro. How great's that?
Yeah.
The away team don't get an intro other than, like, they wait till the crowd's all kicking in, and kind of in the background you get, yeah, and the away team, the Brisbane Bullets.
So, okay, when you have done announcing with Portsmouth, you announce the away team first, then you do Portsmouth.
Yeah.
That's interesting. They do it the other way around.
Well, they do the home team, and then they just say each player, and then they go, and that's the away team.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Whereas when we do it in England, we have to. It's in the rules, the bylaws that says you have to introduce every single player. If you actually look at it by the law, you're supposed to be as enthusiastic for the away team as you are for the home team. The only question mark that you have right in one of the rules somewhere in BE, it says the announcer can show more enthusiasm for a moment for engagement with the crowd. And I take that as I'm going to introduce the away team, like, number 1, Dave Smith. And then when it comes to the home team, no!
Yeah.
And go for it.
That's
But
very interesting.
What a way to look at it. I was just like, you guys, I don't know. Again, I don't know if that's
psychology
just that team,
again, isn't it?
but it was like, what a way to do it. Because who cares about the away team in all seriousness? I mean, there are people there who are supporting them, but generally speaking, no, most of the people there, like 99% of the people there, are supporting Adelaide. So what a great way. And it was kind of like a throwaway comment. And the away team are the Brisbane Bullets. Oh, I just thought it was great.
I mean, are they known for being a loud crowd or anything like that? Is it, some teams in football
Again,
or something?
I don't know. I just took it as an experience of, wow, this is loud. This is loud. And you know what? One of the coolest things that... Actually, look, Mark, this is my note. This is my note about Murray Magpie. Look, Murray Magpie, the mascot. He does the drum. I put war chant. If I say to you war chant, it's like, wow.
I know when we were away that Stuff did it with a big, not a doula drum, I can't think what they're called, but one of those giant, it was like a giant tambourine almost drum, but he was there. He was doing that sort of thing to try and get the crowd going, but nothing like that.
That is great. But, they've got the whole dance crew as well. Now, I know that's kind of evolving, especially in the States. But what I thought was that they did it really well. So they have, we've gone from having cheerleaders to now having dance crew. Yeah. So what they did for that game was they had a dance crew, but it was family oriented as well. So you had some young dancers with them as well, some kid dancing with them.
Oh, okay.
And they were all right. They were good. They knew the moves and stuff like that, but they were going on the dance floor on the court, and they were doing all the moves. And it was like, maybe that is the future of the dancers. Because I know this.
Well, it used to be a bit of TNA, didn't it? And then it was a case of some of the games you'd see after that, they would do, we're going to have these dance troupes, but they're all like kind of just doing the same thing, like break dance and stuff. And it was all...
I thought they did it well. It was, it's a family atmosphere, and it was a family dance group, whatever they're called. I thought it just complemented the game or the atmosphere.
See, I always wondered why they didn't have more cheerleaders, but as in, when they do those cheerleading competitions where they're doing that crazy, like they throw people like 20 foot in the air and all that kind of acrobatic stuff. I always wondered why they didn't do more of that. I mean, you don't have to wear the crazy scantily clad stuff, but
that helps.
All that it does sometimes.
Aerodynamic, Mark.
Possibly, but when they're throwing people in the air and they're doing all the flips and stuff like that, that is its own like show. I know they used to do things like magic shows halfway.
Yeah.
In they actually put a show on halfway through, but I don't know if I say the times changed, but.
Yeah, well, the dance, I'm going to call it a dance group, dance troupe, whatever you want to say. That was really cool. They were kind of huddled behind one of the baskets all together, just bouncing. But again, it was like a family dance group, which is what I liked about it, because I was like, well, that's what the atmosphere is.
Yeah.
No, I thought that was great. But the other thing that they've got, which is amazing, It's absolutely amazing. And I'm trying to I was going to bring it to the Force game on, completely nick this idea, which is the league is sponsored by Hungry Jack's. Okay. So Hungry Jack's is Burger King out there. Do you know that?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I'm looking at your logo now. Yeah, that's Burger King, isn't it?
All right. So Hungry Jack's, that's Burger King. So over there, it's like orange and yellow.
Okay.
And we see Burger King and it's like blue and red.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why it's called Hungry Jack's? I don't know if this story is true, but a few people told me out there and it sounded very viable. I have no weight behind to say if this is fact or not.
You're just going to throw it out there. Okay, it's good.
But allegedly, Burger King wanted to start a chain in Australia.
Yep.
And in one of the states, I don't know what state, there was someone who had a shop on a beach called Burger King. And they went, can we buy the name off you? And they were negotiating. At some point in negotiations, McDonald's turned up and they said, whatever they offer you, you agree, double it, and that's what we will pay you to not sell your Burger King name. Anyway, so obviously negotiations go through. They get to whatever number, then goes to McDonald's, says, I'm not going to sell. And they go, brilliant. And then he makes the deal with McDonald's. Burger King are now, oh, right, Hungry Jack's is born. I don't know if that's true, but it sounded pretty viable.
If that is true, that guy is a genius.
So's McDonald's.
Yeah.
But you know what I like about Hungry Jack's is it sounds...
They sell burgers.
But it sounds different. It's like, I'll go to Hungry Jack's. I just like the name. I think they should change Burger King to Hungry Jack's. Sounds better.
Yeah.
Does sound better.
Well, I think all of them are, aren't they? I mean, you get more and more of those. What's it? Gastro places, aren't you? Where they're doing specialised burgers and stuff. And they'll come out. I mean, Christ, Five Guys, 10 years ago was non-existent. And then now.
But like, imagine, Hungry Jack's is huge out there.
Yeah.
It's like over here, it's like Burger King. Over there, it's the same thing, just Hungry Jack's. But they are a huge sponsor of the league, or the main sponsor of the league.
Okay.
Well, look, they're on the kit. Actually, look, NBL, Hungry Jack's. There you go. So, just for everyone's information, I am wearing a Adelaide 36ers top.
I like the fact that the NBL logo's on it as well. And the NBL logo there isn't that different to the old. Well, it's the similar colours, isn't it, to the old BBL colours, the orange.
I feel like I'm modelling now, Mark.
Yeah.
Anyway, look, I'll tell you what, it feels nice.
Walker Sixers, so is Walker the team sponsor? I mean, I know it says,
don't know,
I know it says Walker on there, but it looks like they spelled it wrong.
That is not funny. That is not funny. Anyway, right, so I don't know what I was talking about. Hungry Jack's. So Hungry Jack's is the main sponsor. Now, do you know when we went out to Orlando?
Yes.
And it was if Orlando hit 10 threes, you get free Chick-fil-A.
Chicken!
And then like after the first 5 games we were there, we were just getting chicken the next day.
Yeah.
And then they turned it into
15
you have to score
or something.
15 threes. It's like, oh, okay. And Orlando had scored 11 threes by half time. It's like, ooh, ka-ching. Anyway, same thing out there. Everyone gets a free cheeseburger from Hungry Jack's if the opposition miss 2 free throws in a row.
Ooh.
Great idea, because look, how many times does someone miss free throws when you see it? It happens, but you can go for a game and it wouldn't happen.
2 in a row, no.
Yeah, exactly, 2 in a row. But
does it? What happens if it was? Was there a caveat? If it?
Are you going to ask me if it was a 3-pointer? No idea.
You know what I mean.
No idea.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I don't know. I think it's just misses 2 in a row.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Anyway, the genius behind this.
Yeah.
This is the genius, and this is what I was going to nick for the Portsmouth Force. The opposition went to the line to take their first free throw.
Yeah.
9,440 people started going, Hungry Jacks, Hungry Jacks, Hungry Jacks. And I'm like, I was turning around to Dale. I went, Dale, what's everyone shouting Hungry Jacks for? And he's like, oh, and he told me about the free throw. I was like, oh, wow.
Is that all round the league, or is it just at Adelaide?
Again, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But in my mind, I was like, what amazing marketing from Hungry Jacks.
Genius.
Whoever made that idea needs a bloody pay rise, because you've got 10,000 people on TV and on radio all screaming your brand name.
Yeah.
And they're doing that throughout the whole game.
Yeah, and they're also either at the stadium. I guess they sell Hungry Jacks at the stadium.
No, I don't think they do actually.
Really?
No, there's not. I don't recall seeing one in there.
Wow, that's surprising.
Well, it's an entertainment. Don't think it's not just purely for the basketball. So
no, I know, but I would have thought they'd have a concession stand there. Or
they do. They have loads of that. I didn't see one, but I could be wrong. But
was the food good?
Yeah, I had like some popcorn, chicken, and chips, which was quite nice.
Was the beer any good?
I did not have a beer, Mark.
Wow.
Whilst I was there, I wanted to remain professional whilst I sat next to Dale, and a few days later,
but not when you're with your family. No.
A few days later, I was there, but I was driving, so I didn't want to drink. But anyway, that is the great thing from a brand perspective. They're screaming at your brand name. Yeah.
That's
However,
amazing.
from the 36ers perspective, it is amazing because
noise.
It's sitting there, Hungry Jacks, Hungry Jacks. He misses it. What's going to happen? Boo! He's getting booed. Yeah. Sorry. If it goes in, he's getting booed. If he misses it, yeah, Hungry Jacks, Hungry Jacks. And I was just like, what a great idea that is.
Yeah.
What a great idea. So I was in communication with the Portsmouth Force mascot, Blue.
Yes.
And he turned around upon hearing that idea and was like, we should do that at the Force games. And I was like, well, yeah, I know what you're saying, but Hungry Jacks isn't going to come over, or Burger King not going to come over, I don't think, and do that for us.
Cheesy chips and pita.
He was like, well, what about if we do what we did for the Halloween games and chuck out Haribo? And everyone just goes, Haribo!
Yeah.
And I was like,
love it.
That is why you're a genius. Well
Love
done.
it.
So that's what we're going to try at the Force games. But yeah, I mean, what a great idea. And then, so for the first game I went to, which was against the Brisbane Bullets, I want to say it was in like the first or second quarter, someone missed 2 free throws. Arena erupts, yeah! And then it's like on the screen, free cheeseburgers all round. Take your ticket stubs to Hungry Jacks and get your free cheeseburger. But also from a business perspective, when you go to Hungry Jacks to get your cheeseburger, you're going to grab some chips and a milkshake as well.
Can you imagine, whether it's there or whether it's in the States, when it's any of these giving away free food and you work in that establishment and you like went to the games that night and you watched them play and they're like, yeah, go take your free ticket. And you're like,
I got
no.
10,000 people.
Tomorrow, I am just going to be rammed with all these people and their tickets going, I want my burger.
I reckon there's probably about 1,000 Hungry Jacks in the Adelaide area, Mark. That's how big it is. It's a massive place. That was a great idea. I mean, look, I haven't even got onto the game yet.
No.
And you're entertained by that.
But we've said this before. It's when you're going to watch basketball, unlike some sports, it's not you're there, you watch the sport, you go home. It's the whole atmosphere. It's the whole enjoyable process. And you know, yeah, you can have food and concessions and all those sort of things as well, but you're sort of part of something.
Yeah. Well, it was a great, and I think like I was going to say, in the first game, the Bullets missed. I want to say it was either at the end of the first or in the second at some point.
Yep.
Someone missed 2 free throws. Stadium goes nuts, and that's it. Everyone's got their burgers. But Dale made a really interesting point. He turned around to me and went, "That's a shame." And I was like, all right, why is that? And he went, because it builds up and it gets louder and louder and even louder than that. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. And he goes, by the time you get to the fourth quarter, like everyone really wants it. And I was like, I get that. You can build, especially if it's a close game.
I guess they don't get 2 free burgers if they miss twice.
No, it's like once it happens, it happens. But yeah, and then, I mean, for the second game I went to, that was, oh, crumbs. That was the Perth Wildcats, was it? I think it's the Wildcats.
Sounds about right.
They didn't miss a free throw, or they missed one and didn't
do the double.
They didn't do the double, but
the Shaquille O'Neal special.
You know what? And I'm gonna make a point, and this goes out to Basketball England to sort out and go and take a look at how organisations like Adelaide 36ers are doing this, because I took my boys to the second game, and they've been to a lot of basketball games in the UK.
Yep.
And they're sat there, they're just going, they're open mouthed going, wow, this is nuts. And I'm like, no, this is what a normal basketball game is like. This is normal. And they're like, wow, this is brilliant. And the music's going on, and they tip off, music carries on. And one of my boys turned around and went, oh, they've not started the game. This is like they're still warming up, right? It looks like they're playing. And I went, no, they're playing. That's this is what happens. You have music going during the game.
Yeah.
And he was like, wow, really surprised. But they absolutely loved the atmosphere, especially when I turned around and said, look, you can get 3 Hungry Jacks tonight if they miss 2 free throws. They just went, what? Hungry Jacks, hungry. They were screaming it. Can I just say for the record, you'll go to Australia at some point. When you do, go to Hungry Jacks and get a chocolate milkshake. Arguably one of the best chocolate milkshakes I've had.
Really?
Fact.
And this is from the guy who
you know me, I like milkshakes.
You ordered a chocolate milkshake from Five Guys when we were in the States. And while they were cooking your burger, you finished that milkshake and ordered yourself another one because it was that tasty.
No, that was Chick-fil-A.
Oh, sorry, Chick-fil-A. Yeah. And it was that tasty. You're like, I'll have another one of those. And then when you ate the food and finished that second one, you went, I wish I'd never had that.
It is on par.
Really?
It is. It's a black. You know what? I don't think the Australians realise the challenges we Britons have with milkshakes. Like we go to
the toil, the struggle is real.
We go to McDonald's or Burger King, wherever we go, and we fancy a milkshake. What do we say? We don't say, "Can I have a milkshake, please?" We turn around and say, "Is your milkshake machine working?" And we wait for the answer. Depending on their answer, we go, "Can I have a milkshake, please?"
It is working, but it's only vanilla. Well, that's absolutely zero use to me. Thank you.
Look, the Australians don't realise, I think, how blessed they are. I have never in my entire life, so in probably 4 or 5 months of being in Australia over the years, I have never, ever gone anywhere and said, "Can I have a milkshake?" And they've said, "No, milkshake machine's broken." Hungry Jack's chocolate milkshake is up there with the best. It's just ice cream.
I mean, it is surprising, isn't it, that they don't have it in the stadium? Although, if they are giving away free food like that, it would kind of make sense why they don't have a concession.
Yeah, because you then have 10,000 people lined up.
They'd literally be like, "Give me that burger now."
And they want to spread it out, I guess, across.
Yeah. Is it like the next day that you have to rat?
No, I reckon you could probably rock up that night. I reckon that was our plan. That's what I said to the boys. If he misses 2 free throws, we Hungry Jacks.
Well, I don't know. What I mean is it for the next 24 hours or is it like,
I don't know how long
time.
it lasts.
Yeah.
No, I reckon they'd be pretty cool about it. Probably before the next game. I don't know. But yeah, I was like, look.
Just wondering at any point and go, into the game. It's like, yeah, I'll save that for a couple of days. Go on my lunch break. Bang. Was the food good in Hungry Jack's?
It's Burger King.
I don't know, but everything's different. Whatever country you go to, you go, it's just a McDonald's or it's just a Burger King, but they're all different.
No, it's really nice. It's like a Burger King, but all the stuff that comes with it is just more old school. I don't know if that makes sense. So like
More wimpy like.
the bag your Hungry Jack's comes in
Yeah.
is thicker paper.
Oh yeah.
Everything's thicker. Everything's a little bigger.
Yeah.
The milkshake machine works. So I was a few times I was driving back and there was a Hungry Jack's right by where.
Listen,
we were
this is
staying.
not the Hungry Jack's episode. This is Adelaide 36ers
I know,
episode.
but a few nights I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go get a chocolate milkshake.
Oh, I bet you are.
Love, do you want one?
Was that? Was
No?
that,
All right, I'll
that
get
was
one.
your Three Musketeers when we were in Orlando. It was Three Musketeers bars for you, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh. Anyway, so right, where do we get to? So, this was something I wrote down.
Hungry Jack's, is it? Milkshake.
No. Thank you very much for listening to this episode. That is the end of this part. But do not worry, because coming soon is the second part of this episode, and it will be available soon.